Hello, hello, and welcome to another Monday mindset, manifesting Monday. All of my themes are sort of M's, so it's all the M's today. So we're going to cover just a little bit of mindset, manifesting, motivation, and I'm going to talk to you about meditation as well. There's so many M's. Okay, so while I'm waiting for a few people to come on, I am going to shuffle some cards because I'll read them at the end. I'm just going to use this time to tune in to know in advance of me talking what else we need to know this week that will actually bring joy, that will help, that will allow us to uplift and have a super week. Hi JJ, lovely to see you. So I'm just going to tune in. So give me some cards and I'm going to just pull whatever jumps out, I think, and read it for the week. And then I'll read it at the end, as I said, just so that I know, it'll be in alignment. Either what will happen will be something will jump out that I haven't thought about, or it will be very much in line with what we're already doing. Okay, one card. Okay, I'm going to just, I'm going to stop and I'm going to split the deck in three, and I'm going to take the middle section and I'm going to read from the top of that in a while. So I can see there are a few people coming on, and I just want to talk to you first about, so the start of a new week. This is a powerful week. This week can be magical. Every week can be magical if we sparkle it with our magic. But this week is quite special, I believe, because we've got a full moon on the 24th, which is Saturday, I think is Saturday the 24th. So on the 24th, at something like past midday in Irish UK time, so whatever that is in the rest of the world, that is the exact full moon, and it's full moon in Virgo. I'm not an astrologer, and I know I always end talking about this, but what I do with the full moon and the new moon is I use it to help to up manifesting. The best time to set seeds, and farmers have been doing this for eons, the best time to set seeds is during a new moon. It's a great time to set intentions. And right now we've got the second half of that lunar energy. Just, for the rest of this week, it's going to get very intense. We can use it. We can get knocked about by what it might bring up, or we could really look at how we can place our attention on what it is that we want. So on the 24th, and funny, that date as well, just a little bit of woo. It's February 24th, so 2/24, 2024. So if you get rid of the 0 in 2024, you're left with 2/24. So they both reduce to 8, and 8 is that symbol of abundance. If it's a little motivation for you for the week, what do you want to focus on that will bring either you abundant energy or help you to create something, even if it's the beginning of a journey, but allow you to create something that's going to bring that, momentum, but also sort of leave a legacy. The number 8 is the infinity symbol. And that infinity symbol continues. So what we're creating, what we can create at that, coming up and putting our attention onto that full moon is a double 8, and I always feel that it's, astrology, numerology, feng shui, whatever it is that you're practicing, they're all different ways of reading energy. What I do is allow our thoughts and our beliefs to create that energy. So there's a couple of things about that with the Virgo moon. Virgo is very much it's a an earth sign, so it's a very good day possibly to be outside in nature. As it's the weekend, that's on a Saturday, maybe you have time to get outside and to put your feet on the ground, hug a tree. If you can be barefoot, brilliant. You may not be in a lot of parts of the world, but if you can do that, or be by the beach, feet in the water. It was my birthday actually on Saturday, and I had a lovely long weekend with my family, and my daughter, whose birthday is 2 days before mine, so she came down, and we were in freezing cold Ireland on the wild Atlantic Way. There's a lovely beach that has a couple of saunas that you can rent by the hour. So we had a beautiful sauna and looked out at the ocean, and the waves were quite strong. Now, the idea is to hop in and out of the water and get wet. I have to say, I was quite a chicken about that, but it was looking at that ocean. Now, I did get in. I got in twice, but very barely, just in and out. The others did swim, but it was too wild for me. But looking out at that ocean from in that, there was a huge window looking on to just the Atlantic, and the sun was shining, the waves were huge, and the power and the energy from that. Looking out, I was talking to a few women inside there. We all felt like it's so warm in here. We could be looking out at anywhere. It just felt like we could have been somewhere incredible. And that has a brilliant energy. When you do something, when you're outside or inside, outside in nature, we did have our feet in the ground, we put our feet in the ocean. There's just such a really high vibe presence with that. So if you can do something next Saturday for that full moon to raise your frequency, your vibration, honestly, it's going to have such an effect on you. There's a few things happening on that Saturday. Saturn and the Sun and Mercury are forming a stellium. That means they're very close together in the sky, and they're opposing the moon, because every full moon is opposite the Sun. So this will actually, Saturn is very interesting. Saturn is like the big responsibility planet. It's the planet that makes us take action, or can inspire us to set something into motion, or to do the work, basically. And with the sun, it'll inspire you, help you to have that sort of inspiration, and maybe take action on some of the things that you want to do. We've got Saturn is actually in Pisces at the time, and even though the stellium is in, what is it? We're in, yeah, oh yeah, of course, because the sun is in Pisces, so Saturn is with the sun and the moon in Pisces, and the Piscean energy is going to. The Piscean energy likes to get rid of ego, and it is very much about getting rid of illusion and delusion. But actually, with Saturn together, it's going to allow us to get rid of any of our mind monkeyness, or, you know, sometimes we're dreaming at something that we believe is unattainable. This helps us to get rid of the illusion that it's going to happen in a certain way, maybe, but allows us to really get focused on clear on what it is that we need to do to take action to make something happen. And honestly, if you go with the energy of this, you will really feel it has the ability to very much raise the frequency of your manifestations. I'll tell you a little story about that. And it was several years ago now. I don't every month, I have to admit, take action on doing all of the things like setting my intentions and looking at them every day and doodling on them, and then, keeping that momentum going until the full moon. But when I do, magic happens. And I really paid attention to it a few years ago when I didn't have very good internet. I live in the country. Grass used to grow in the middle of our road outside my house. We've got a new road built there, but it is quite a rural place, and we didn't have good internet. And I was launching something big, and I felt instead of working one-to-one, working one-to-many, I needed really good internet. At the time, I had to rent somewhere to do my RTT, my hypnosis sessions, because I couldn't take a chance of losing power. And certainly, if I was going to launch something big, I I would want to be able to see people, and I wouldn't want for my internet to cut out or be, awkward. So I set the intention that we were going to get fiber, high fiber down our little tiny road, and that it was going to come easily. And I drew pictures of my screen on my computer screen, my desktop, where I could see everybody. I could only bring my laptop when I was going out to my rented place, because this is my home office. So I drew this little picture with all of the people who were going to join. I paid my attention to it, that it was going to be in my home doing it. And I kid you not, on the full moon, I got a message from my service provider to say that they were rolling out high fiber down our road. And it happened so quickly, and they did it. It actually did come about. So we have very good internet. So those are the little things. That was one thing that I really wanted that particular month that I was focusing on. So each month, if you break down your manifesting, what's your big goal, and break it down to what can you achieve this month, and work with that energy, it really is powerful. On the 29th, actually, which is just a few days after that, there's another big event that's actually going to bring Jupiter into the equation. Jupiter brings a lot of joy and expansion and energy and abundance, wisdom. So that is going to be forming a trine basically to the Sun and Mercury and Saturn. So that energy is huge. So on the 29th of February, which is the leap year day, the very last day of February, it's very interesting that we have that huge event, which will really allow our manifestations to grow in, as you put your attention to it. Now I'm trying to think, basically, when you set your intention is one thing, but how you place your intention onto it regularly is what will allow it to grow. And bringing in the emotion and the high frequency vibrations inside in your body. In other words, what will you feel when you get what you want? Living in that daily, in little incremental bursts during the day, feeling those feelings will really help to make things better. Okay, I'm going to talk about a little tiny hack then that you can do if you feel in the next week, because this week can be quite intense, especially coming up to a full moon. There can be a lot of sort of angry energy or impulsive energy. I know I live with my son who is he's got autism, and he feels energy very, very easily, and he picks up our energy very easily. He's super, super sensitive. But always coming up to a full moon, I have to give special attention to him and watch that I'm speaking calm, that my energy is open, because he can react to it so easily. So during this week, watch out for your emotions. Watch out if you start to notice that you're getting, angry or tense or impulsive, or want to, react in some way. And what we're feeling, we're manifesting more of. So if that's not in alignment with your goals, if you feel that, anger isn't going to do anything, or sadness or whatever, because sometimes during a full moon as well, it brings up a lot of watery energy, sadness, and the sun is in Pisces, which is that watery sign. So if you feel that you're emotional or in any way during this period, this is key. And it'll only take, you can do this in, if you only have 30 seconds, you can do this. And it's just stop what you're doing. Sit with your feet flat on the ground and your hands open on your lap, and close your eyes. Just tune into your body. Breathe into your body and notice what you're feeling. And you'll notice where that feeling is coming from. And it'll be something in your head. It'll be something that happened, or somebody said something, or some thing that you are making possibly a story around. Okay, just notice what the story is behind the emotion. And as you breathe a few deep breaths, imagine that you're allowing that, all of those thoughts to just drop from your head down into your heart. You can count backwards from 10 to 1 if you want, while you're thinking of those thoughts and just allowing them to float down into your heart. And they get to your heart, just allow that breath to just circle around them. You can bring energy up from the earth, energy in from above, and allow your heart to just envelop them. But really, even if you don't go that deep, if you just breathe into it, knowing that those thoughts are down in your heart, it has a very quick effect of changing that energy completely. So if you're with somebody who's overreacting or acting out, if you're in work, if you're with children, if there's somebody triggering you, and you do that exercise, you can just expand your own energy again, and everything just gets put back into perspective. So I would advise you to do that during this week. And the other thing I said I would say is how to amplify your manifestations this week, because we can really amplify them in this week. When we set the intentions at the new moon, we're in that growth stage, and it's a really good time to set intentions, because it's like you're setting them like a seed into the ground, and there is that pull of the moon that's going to allow them to grow. The first week, that growth may not appear to be very much, but in the second week, that growth is even stronger. That's where we are right now. So don't give up. Don't feel it's never going to happen. Look at what it is you want to create. Just look at whatever it is. It might be something tiny this month, or it might be something huge. It might be something that is a long-term goal. But when you look at what your intention is and give it attention. So you set an intention and you give it attention. So you're looking at what you want. And just like I was drawing and doodling about getting my internet put in, feel it. You can doodle it, you can draw it, you can write it. You can just focus on it. You can just imagine it and feel the feeling like you already have it. That is the simplest version that you can do this. And just feel that feeling, and it'll feel good. So it's not hard to do, and it doesn't need to take very long. But when you feel it and you get excited about it, like it's already happened, and then just get on with your day. And if you have time later on, and we have time to spend 5 minutes here and there, just daydreaming in a conscious way. I don't mean, because we also need to look out for daydreaming when there's illusion, disillusion, that sort of not being, I suppose, consciously creating. But when you really know what you want, when it feels spiritually aligned, in other words, when your heart just lights up because this is what you want in your life, or how you can also maybe give back to life by feeling this. Because remember, every time you feel a good emotion, if the people around you, you're raising the vibration of everybody. And key is when you're kind. If you are kind to somebody else, this is really interesting. I've learned this from Wayne Dyer. If you are offer a random act of kindness to somebody, and you're with this person, you will raise their frequency, you will raise their vibration, but you will also raise your own, the equivalent amount, because we all love to give as much as we receive. In fact, they're the same. They're two sides of the same law of giving and receiving. And in fact, if there's somebody in your presence watching you being kind to somebody else, it raises their frequency as well. So it is really powerful. Okay, last thing, and I've been talking for 20 minutes and I wanted to keep this to 15. I'm going to pull the first top 5 cards off the pack, and I'm just going to read them. Okay. So this is just telling you that you are a sorceress, that you're a magical being. Get back and take back your power. Your power is in your strength now to be that magical being. Your power is taking back your control. I'm working with a beautiful lady, an energy healer at the moment, and who's doing work with me, and it's really lovely. But our biggest power is taking back our control. So when you're not controlling anybody else, when you're not trying to control your environment, you're not trying to control other people in it, you're not trying to control the outcome of something that you have no control over. You can't control what people say to you. You can't control what happens in the world. What you can control is how you feel about it, and how you can change it, and how that has an effect. That is really powerful. When you take back your power, you're releasing, trying to, when you take back your control, you're releasing trying to control everything, which is impossible. But it's a really, and this, look, there's the full moon in this picture as well. So she is taking control of her life. She is, taking her own action. She's responsible. She's taking responsibility for where she is and what she does. This card is boundaries. So do watch your boundaries, especially this week, because, as I said, it can be that sort of heavy energy. It can be fiery. It can be sad. Just watch your boundaries and watch your own energy. Keep doing that little tiny suggestion that I made just 5 minutes ago. If you're just coming on live now, about might be 10 minutes ago, just tuning into to that feeling and changing the vibration by bringing your thoughts down into your heart. And when you do that, you're making your space bigger, and then people are less inclined to overstep your boundaries. Plus, when you take back your control and your power, people won't overstep your boundaries. So just know what your boundaries are, and know that when you do set boundaries, there's always going to be somebody who will try to overstep them. But when you're in your power, you just don't, it's just, they bounces off. Energy healing. It might be time to do some energy healing, to get an energy healing session, or to play with energy yourself. And even listening back to this again, I've spoken about some things that you can do to practice energy healing on yourself. Some of you may be energy healers. I'm sure there are lots in this group. Persistence then. So looking at what we were talking about earlier, just taking daily persistent action steps. And that persistent action step might be just raising your frequency, raising your vibration, holding that space inside so that you know what you want, you're focusing on what you want, you're imagining you already have it, and you are also taking the daily actions that you know you need to do. Remember, if you're driving and you are listening to you've set your sat nav GPS system to where you want to go, you never can see around the next corner. You can only take the next action step. That's all we need to do to get to our goal, is to take the next step and keep taking the next steps. And if you can learn to take the next intentional step, or the next intuitive action step, that's powerful, knowing the right step. And the last card is right. This would be, and we've got a full moon in this actually as well. So it might be something really powerful for anybody who's good, or who likes to write, or who likes to journal. It would be a really good idea to just daily journal a little bit more of where you want to go. Just tiny little bits daily. Or if you're somebody, I like to paint, I like to doodle, that's the way I journal a little as well, but I much prefer to make marks and, little images. So whatever it is with you, write, draw, be creative, and tune into your own intuition, because we are all intuitive. We all know what we need to do. So Lovely to see you all here. Hi, Rianne and Rachel, and there's a few Facebook users that I don't know. I'm not getting names for, but just listen to your heart and play. Play as much as you can. Be playful and be, but take those action steps when you know what you need to do, because that whole Saturn energy is, being disciplined about doing the next thing. Love you all, and I will see you next Monday for another, what did I call it? Manifesting mindset, motivational Monday, whatever. All the M's. Talk to you next week. Have a brilliant week. Oh, and if you're not already on my email list, I will be sending out during the week a little meditation, just for working with yourself with this energy, releasing and letting go of things for the full moon. So if you're not on it, in the link wherever you're watching this, I'm streaming into 3 places. So below in the description, if you click the more button, you'll be able to see, or the more tag on YouTube or somewhere in the description, you'll be able to see the link to join my list. And if you're already on it, look out for a meditation. Okay, love you all. Thanks a million for watching. Bye for now, and have a great week.